All my champions doing out there wanting to go over something. Somebody else is winning with the same set of cards you was dealt. Basically, your same situation. Somebody's winning with it. Now, you don't always need to compare you really don't never need to compare your situation to nobody else's. But what's important about that statement is you can make it through what you're going through because somebody has had a harder time dealing with the same things you're dealing with, and they won. They made it out. They figured it out, and it was more difficult than what you're going through. Now, what is it going to take for you to get there? First things first, you need to look at how you're wasting time, right? Just straight up, that's your most valuable asset. If you're watching TV all the time, if you're watching basketball, if you're watching court shows, all this, why are you watching that, right? Why are you watching? For what? What's the point in watching it? Because it ain't doing nothing for you. You gotta think about that. That gotta go through your head. You can't be sitting there watching Game of Thrones. Where your throne at? You watching somebody else's throne, you need one. Straight up, you watching how they living, how they doing what they doing, they having fun, they doing everything they need to do. Everything's cool, and what you doing? You turn it off, you disappointed. So you got to knock that off. Then you have to evaluate where you at, like where your problems are located, and how you can start to locate solutions on how to fix these issues, right? So I'm gonna do 5 things you can do to fix those issues on how to play your hand better, no matter how your hand, what kind of hand you got. Number 1 is do an inventory. That's the first thing you're gonna have to do of what you have to work with to get to where you're going. You have to. So if you want to build a business, you have to say, okay, let's be real. I'm through this year. I might have $12,000 to invest. That's the max I can invest, and really put that money into your business. I know it's not 100,000. I know it's not 200,000, but start reaching out to marketers. Start reaching out to social media experts. Start reaching out to, start making phone calls. Start reaching out to people so you can start locking in on that task, right? So doing an inventory is important because you might have to wait a year because you just don't have any of the tools. It's just you need to invest. Right now you need to focus on investing, and so that might be what you need to do. Or you can get started today. You got $1,000, go buy a computer, you go get a camera, right? You create the email, figure out your domain name, figure out who's going to do your hosting, or you're going to do your hosting, how you going to pay for that. You start to get, from there, from the second step is your goals list. What goals do you want to break down throughout this year to get started? Your first year, you just getting started, right? You're gonna have to get your LLC if you're doing that route, or however you're forming your business, right? So you have to look at it. After you get those first 2 steps done, the third step is being dedicated and inspired, because there's going to be days where it's so difficult you feel like taking a towel, throwing it in, and just moving on to something else. So if you're dedicated, you'll do it in the cold, you'll do it in the rain, you'll do it in the snow, you'll do it if it's hot, you'll do it if it's cold, you'll do it if it's windy, if it's not working out, you'll still do it. And inspired, because even when you're dedicated and it's still not working, you'll bring that out of yourself. You'll bring yourself up to a level like, okay, I can get this done now. I'm not worrying about nothing else. I can turn my phone off. I can, I can go to the library if I need to. I can go somewhere where I can go somewhere to focus to get this task done because I'm inspired to get this task done, right? So the first step is, we went through step 1, step 2, step 3. Now we're on to step 4, is building consistency, right? That's huge. Building consistency because, okay, you got everything going. Okay, you know what you need to do. You have your goals. You have all these other things done. Now it's being consistent. Now it's doing it every single hour, not today, right? You got to look at for every hour you are doing something towards reaching your goals. You are doing something towards reaching those goals. Every single hour you are putting something towards reaching those goals, right? It's difficult. I promise you it's difficult. It is, because there's always something that comes up. It's just inevitable. You have a list. Okay, I'm gonna get these 10 things done. You get to step 2, and then you lose your debit card, or you lose your wallet. Just something happens that was not in the plan, the schedule, or anything, and you have to completely shift that task list or postpone something. You lose your job. The prints from your shirt came out wrong, so you got to scrap those prints. Or somebody you was working with, they're not answering DMs or emails or phone calls, and they were supposed to do something for your business, and they're not doing it no more. So you have to, be mindful of that. And the very last one, is following up on your goals. Following up and see how you did, grading yourself, right? Because if you didn't do good on something, you might have to do that goal all over again. Why? Because you did a terrible job, right? You did a terrible job on that goal, and you need to do a bounce back. I know you don't want to. Nobody wants to, man. It took a year. You're going to have to do it again. And, 9 out of 10 times, that second time, it's not going to take a year. It's going to be quicker. Because you already had a year to experience. You might be done in a week. Something that took a year, you're done in a week because you got experience. So, think about those 5 things, right? It's okay. It's all right. Because as long as you're thinking about those things, the cards you were dealt, you can win with them. But you have to do something. You can't just look at it like, man, I'm finna lose. Because if you do that, most cases, in most cases, you lose, because winning is difficult. You think that these companies became who they were, you just woke up. Oh, look at Ford. Oh, they sell the most trucks in the world. Oh, look at Dodge. Oh, look at them. Oh, look at KB Homes. Oh, wow, they make the most houses in the country. How does that happen? I don't know how that happened. It happened because they kept going when it got hard, when the housing market got rough, when other things happened. They figured out other things they could do. I promise you, they don't just sell houses. They do other things. They work with contracts. They do a whole bunch of other stuff. Trust me that you're gonna have to shift what you do. It's crazy, during this whole pandemic times, a lot of companies were like car companies were making ventilators for people breathing. They don't make ventilators, but they resourceful. They make money doing something different. You have to be resourceful. You have to learn how to be resourceful. Another big one is Daymond John. Shout out to Daymond John on Shark Tank, right? Started FUBU. Now he owns a whole bunch of other companies that had nothing to do with clothing. Why? Because he had to shift. It started not working out, so he had to make adjustments. I even put a bonus one on there. Make adjustments. Don't be afraid to even adjust your whole strategy. Think about it. You have to adjust. What's beautiful is the companies that are still around that were based off of other companies that are still going now because they made an adjustment. There were companies that fixed VCRs, and now they probably fix smartphones. Because who do you know that has a VCR that goes home and says, I'm going to put this movie in VCR? Everybody's streaming, right? So they had to adjust to say, okay, we're not fixing VCR. We'll fix smartphones, or we'll fix TVs, or we'll fix refrigerators. They had to figure something out. There's plenty of companies now most companies just die because VCR is dying. We're gonna hop in the grave with them. Nah, see, you're not even thinking. You're not even thinking about shifting and adjusting. You have to be able to shift and adapt to whatever environment you're in. All right. So I appreciate all my champions that stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. So make sure you check this out. Take notes. Please take notes. Right. This is valuable, crucial information that you can use forever, right? This is going to be up here and you can use it forever. So take notes, use it in your everyday life, and continue to push forward to your championship, right? It's important. So everybody have an amazing day. Stay blessed, stay focused, and keep your vision where it's supposed to be.